So, lifetime ISAs, what do you need to know? What do you need to panic about? Well, interesting enough, Martin Lewis has reportedly warned that lifetime ISAs can backfire if misused. And he goes on to say that there's been high profile of footballers who have been ill-advised about using lifetime ISAs. Well, we're going to demystify some of the things he talked about in this video. So let's look at some of the lifetime ISA problems that you can face as an investor. First of all, you could face 25% tax on early withdrawals. If you're going to be using a lifetime ISA for other than retirement or buying a home, then you could suffer a penalty, which is similar to 6.25% loss of your investment. And we'll go through an example later on that. Property caps, £450,000 is the value that you could buy property for, otherwise any bonus may be taken away from you. So what was the point? Well, house prices in the UK look to be set at £300,000. If you are living south of the M25, as many people would say, then you are going to face lots of problems because house prices in London, Surrey, that kind of way, it's going to be more than £450,000. So a lifetime ISA may not be right for you at all. It is only available for those people aged between 18 and 39. So if you're 40, you can make contributions, but you are going to be restricted. And £4,000 contribution allowance. I mean, what? I mean, really, what's the point? Now, I appreciate that many lifetime advisors will be saying that's completely, I shouldn't say that. But really, it's small. And I'm not having a go at the investment. I'm just thinking from a government perspective, really reducing it to £4,000 is pathetic. And it should have been a lot more. After tax investments, I'm looking at lifetime ISAs, I'm looking at ISAs, I'm looking at other types of investments that you must compare these against, such as looking at using pensions if you're doing retirement planning, because that's what Lisa is all about. Now, the other side to that, if you are looking at retirement accounts, you can make contributions to your pension using salary sacrifice, which benefits you from an income tax reduction. If you're an employer of your own limited company, then again, you can get contributions to someone's pension and you get a corporation tax saving, which is much better than the entry point of a lifetime ISA, which, yes, it grows tax-free, but you still have to pay after-tax money into your lifetime ISA account. Here's a couple of ebooks that I think you should download. There's a QR code for both of them and the links will be in the description box as well. The first ebook talks about growing your investments without the tax, and then the second one looks at inheritance tax and succession planning. Really key two books, which is depending on where you are in life right now, maybe both of them could be useful. Well, why not download them and have a good read? Okay, so some of these problems that you face, here's some of the solutions. Pensions versus ISA. Look at the tax relief that you can get on the contributions. If you're an employee and an employer, maybe a double whammy for you. So again, look at those, look at the kind of amount of tax that you can save. If you're using a lifetime ISA versus a pension SIP, for instance, then you could actually be worse off. Monitor property and investment values. Really, we're talking about a lifetime ISA account is used for property values at £450,000. However, if you look at the property values, if they're going up, then you could lose your bonuses. Maybe that's where we're headed, and you may not be benefiting at all with a LISA. Investment values as well. Look at your investment account, not just the property values or what's your saving on tax. We've got to look at the return on investment you're making. Is it below the returns that you can get from other types of investments? Something that you really should be considering. And that works nicely to this point. Working with your IFA or an IFA, both in fact, I would say, would be advisable really for them to work with you to identify the right investments, and then working with us to identify a holistic perspective of how they are performing from a net tax position. And not just for you, by the way, for your family as a whole. Look for properties. If you're over 40, then you might want to consider redirecting to a normal ISA account. Think about inheritance tax. ISAs are not inheritance tax free. So you do need to think about this. Now, pensions arguably are not going to be tax free either from April 2027, but we still need to think about estate planning, inheritance tax planning, succession planning. Add your leases to your wills and asset tracking reports. If something happens to you, you want to make sure that those investment accounts go to your loved ones. There is a danger that they don't, and then they go to the Crown. Some of the issues we talked about, it's early withdrawal. So you might make £4,000 worth of contributions, you get £1,000 worth of bonus, great. But then you have a penalty because you withdraw it too early, facing £1,250 penalty, receiving a net 3750, which is unfortunately a £250 erosion of your investment. Not a good idea. So again, tracking when you can take money out is key. Property values, London buyer uses a leaser, but property values £550,000, as I mentioned before, bonus clawed back. So if you're looking for properties above 450,000, maybe a leaser is not right for you. Lisa, Liza, where are you on this? Feel free to comment on the contributions box below. Pensions, here you could redirect money into redirect your ISA accounts, LISA accounts into a pension, because you can get tax relief from those contributions. You cannot get those same contributions from your LISA or your ISA accounts. So maybe, especially if you're coming for retirement. Property buy-to-lets, landlord opts for alternative ISAs, pensions tailor-made for property investors. Again, here we're talking about the suitability of a LISA versus what you want to use that money for. Hopefully that's been useful. My name is Simon Misiewicz. I am a UK tax specialist for investors. Feel free to go to our website and book a 10-minute call to discuss our services and how we can benefit you using the QR code, and the link will be in the description box below. Thank you again.